G'day everyone, welcome to Sunstate Metal Detecting. My name's Kieran, thanks for joining us for another lovely little day metal detecting out in the countryside. We've got a nice little spot here to have a bit of a look around. I've done my research on this place. This used to be the old cricket reserve for the town that we're close to back in the late 1800s. They played pretty regular cricket games here up until maybe the 1920s or the 1930s. Today it's still used as a recreational arena, and various events, markets and the like go on here. We are taking out the Minelab Manticore today with the M8 Sniper Coil. We haven't used this baby in a little while, so I thought it's high time to get it out and have a swing. And we'll also crack out the saber-tooth again, so we can dig ourselves some nice little plugs. Anyway, I'm going to start walking off in that direction. We'll try that tree line over there first of all. We'll see what we can find. I'll see you at the first signal. Hey, look at that. Very nice. I knew there'd have to be pre-decimal here somewhere. If I was a betting man, I'm not, but if I was, I'd say that sounds a little bit like a penny. No, it's actually silver. Hey, that's cool. Okay. Looks like we've got our first target here that's going to be worth a dig. There is an awful lot of iron in the soil here, so detecting is going to be a bit of a challenge. I have set the Manticore to the maximum recovery speed, so I can try and get between those iron tones, but yeah, even so, it is proving rather tricky. Here's our first target. Let's see what this is. .6466. Nice and shallow by the sounds of things. And we're right at the foot of an old pine tree here. So, oh, yep, there is a coin there. Oh, got $2. Looks all right. Cool. Now, just trying to figure out if that's just iron or whether we're hearing another target there. I'll just quickly wave the detector one more time and we'll find out. Here we go. You can just hear how much iron's in the soil. It is just iron. Okay, well, let's keep searching. All right, well, we're not too far from our first little find there, and there's a little bit of a puzzle here. We've got just over there, sort of roughly where I'm waving the detector head on the screen there, that's a pile of river stones, and some of them have been polished. And there are like little polished river stones all the way through here, as well as a few cut timbers that are buried. So I'm wondering if there used to be maybe like an entrance structure or something here in the past. There's nothing here now, there's just a fence line. Who knows? Anyway, in amongst them, I've got a target, and it sounds a bit like this. Shallow and maybe a little bit jumpy for my liking, but that could just be the iron. Okay, we are practically touching it, whatever it happens to be. We're out, and yeah, it's just a bit of feels like aluminium that's been hit by the mower. All right, into the junk bag for that one. And I'm going to search around these pebbles a bit more and see if I can't figure out what's going on here. All right, we have another nice solid little tone here. We haven't had a tone in a little while. May come down to this where I'm searching. I've never actually been here while there's been an event on, so I'm not quite sure where I should be looking for modern stuff. I mean, the old stuff, it could just be absolutely anywhere. So I'm just trying a bit here, a bit there, a bit everywhere. Yeah, let's see what this tone is. Up near a 70, very, very strong, sounds quite shallow. So, let me see. Not far down. It is just in here somewhere. It's in my hand, and I have a little tiny buckle. That actually might be quite an old buckle. Very, 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 very heavy. Oops, trying to throw it away. I'm going to say it's probably off a pair of shoes or something of that nature. But yeah, I don't mind finding a buckle every now and again. Cool. All right, let's bag that up and we'll keep searching. Okay, I think we've got one we can finally use the tiger saber tooth on. Let's see what this is. Neat little dot that way. Neat little dot that way. Little bit of depth. I don't think it's going to be anything too extreme. So we probably will only do sort of half a plug. All right. That should be enough. Now let's get this up and out. There we go. Very tidy. Now, not sure what the pinpointer is trying to tell me there. So we're going to tune it in again. Oh, it is out. And, okay, I think that might be part of like a dog leash clip, you know, the ones with the sort of, look like a letter P and you sort of spring load them. All right, into the junk pocket for that one. And we'll put this plug right back where it came from. All right, we've got another nice little near surface find. Again, so actually you'll see if I just tilt you up slightly, we've got the modern grandstands just here. There's 3 of them. I don't think they've been used in a long, long time. They're looking a little overgrown in some parts. But just behind this one here, I've got this. Low 60s, and it sounds relatively shallow, so great candidate for another coin. Should be, oh no, I'm seeing something that's not a coin. What's that? It's got dots, and it looks like it's crushed in on the other end. Who knows? Not sure. Into the junk pocket because it is just aluminium, and we'll keep looking. All right, we're right at the back again, making our lap around. Now there are all these metal pens. If I just pan you up that way, you'll see just over in the distance there is a metal pen, and then you've got these railings. Originally I thought this might have been something to do with livestock sales, but I'm starting to think it's probably something to do with equestrian, because there is various points here where I can see they've had animals tied up to these posts, and I'd say horses is probably the best bet there. Don't really know. Anyway, right down in between these 2 sets of railings, we have a small target that we're going to have a go at. There it is. We are going to crack out the saber tooth for this one. Oh, I've hit something there. Not too sure what that was. There's something very firm. Maybe I don't know, something else there as well. That may be our target. We might be dealing with perhaps a piece of a can. I hope not. Or is that concrete? I can't tell. What have we got? No, there's a root there. All right, let's have a look. Okay, I've actually missed it. Oh, I've totally missed it. It's actually right off to this other side here. All right, let's see. Jeez, oh. Hey, it's a silver. Hey, cool. That's a 6pence from 1946. Hey, look at that. Very nice. I knew there'd have to be pre-decimal here somewhere. There we go. That's a good one. Nice. All right, so it's only going to be a 50%er, but hey, silver's silver, isn't it? Anyway, in the bag for that one. And yeah, let's. I'm going to search this area a little bit more. All right, well, we're just over near one of the livestock loading platforms, just there. And just next to it, we've got a little target here. I think it's going to be a coin, probably a modern one, but if it's not, I'm curious to see what it is. Ultra consistent. And boy, does it feel solid. You know, sometimes you just get those nice sort of tones. You can feel it. That's what this is, one of those. Yep. Okay. Just do a little cheeky one of these again, instead of doing a full plug, because I think we're going to be very near to the surface. We are, and unfortunately, it's just another bit of a can that's been hit by the mower. Plenty of that around here. Let's move on. All right, well, we've got another 60-ish tone, but I get the feeling this one could be a can. Let's have a go anyway. Very weird line on the display, which is telling me that it's probably not a coin. Could be a coin spill though. That'd be nice. Wouldn't complain about that. Haven't had a coin spill in a while. Not holding my breath on that though. Let's just get up. What in the hell is that? Okay, that's not what I was expecting. Well, it's old. It's really quite old, actually. It seems to be hollow. Yes, it is definitely hollow. And looks to be made of possibly brass. I have absolutely no idea. We'll have to get it home and clean it, and we'll find out if it's anything of interest. All right, into the bag. And, well, that was easy. We'll move on. All right, I think this one might be something interesting. It's a very, very tidy tone and a bit of an odd number. So, yeah, let's see. Such a neat dot. And it's the same in every direction. So that means it's most likely going to be a fairly consistently shaped object, whether that's round or rectangular or whatever it happens to be. Let's hope for something good. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right. Well, that plug didn't really work very well. The soil here is a lot drier than some of the other areas. Let's see. Okay, it's actually a little bit more off to the other side there. I've missed it a bit. Okay. That should have us at least a little bit closer. Oh, it's in the plug here. Ah, it's the top off the zip. Yeah, okay. That sort of makes sense. Right, let's get this filled in and we'll carry on. All right, folks. Well, we've wrapped up at the last location. It wasn't too much there as I finish off the last lap around the reserve. So I thought it's time to roll the dice on a new location. So we've driven almost an hour to this lovely little old school. This school, I believe, was founded in 1904 and it's only closed in the last few years. Everything's still here, but it's now a reserve for recreation. So basically it's free to, for the public to access. And we're going to try our luck here and see if we can't turn up a few nice little finds. Anyway, let's get underway and see what we can turn up. All right, didn't take as long to get a screaming good tone. I'm hoping this one's going to be a coin and not just a piece of aluminium. Let's have a go. Nice small target. Nice that way. Nice in that direction as well. Maybe a little bit of depth. Not entirely sure. I'm hoping this is a coin, because if it is, it's almost guaranteed to be silver or a penny ringing a bit high. Let's keep our fingers crossed, eh? All right. Looks like we're in the plug. Oh, there is a coin. I think. Is it a coin? Or is that a copper washer? Really? Is that all it was? Hold on. Let me just... yeah, maybe. Yep, 91. Copper washer. All right. Here you go. Done. Not to worry. Although that does sort of give me a little bit of hope, because in my head, if any other detectorist had heard that, they would have dug that for sure. So maybe no one's been here in a while. Let's keep searching. All right, only a couple of paces on from that last lovely tone, we've got another good one. If I was a betting man, I'm not, but if I was, I'd say that sounds a little bit like a penny. Although it could also be a 2 cent or any one of 100 other things. Let's see. Just getting a plug out here. We're sort of right near the back door of the school, so no, not quite coming out yet. Must be, oh yeah, there's some roots there. This grass is very well rooted. Dear me. All right, I think we should be there now. Close enough. Cool. And I think that's a penny. Sure is, yeah, it's kangaroo penny. I thought it sounded like a penny. 1951, that is. So that'll be George on the back there. Yep, I can just make out the top of his head. There you go. There are pre-decimals here. I figured there would be. It was just a matter of whether anyone's picked this clean or not. And we might just be far enough out of town that no one's thought to give this place a shot. So, let's see what else we can get. Moving on. Okay, we've got another lovely, nice little tone just next to this little shelter here. That certainly looks to be original to the initial date of the school. And sounds a bit like this. Potentially quite shallow, which is interesting. Now I'm just keeping an eye out because there are quite a few kangaroos around. Yeah, no, looks like I'm clear. And I've had a few close run-ins with kangaroos in the last few weeks, and I'd rather not get kicked while I'm not looking. Well, that might make for some entertaining metal detecting video. Oh, there's a coin in there. That's $1. All right, cool. We'll bag that one up and we'll keep searching. Yeah, no sooner do I turn the camera off, we have another target. So my dollar coin came from over there somewhere. I've put the hole back in so well I can't even tell where I was. And here we go. Here's the next one. 61 all day long. I think there's a little bit more depth on this one, so that's why we're digging a plug. All right, the ground here is so nice and soft. It's just an absolute pleasure to dig. Now, I'm going to say we're probably in that plug. We are, and we're a ways into the plug too. What have we got? Should be looking at it. And I'm not seeing it. Oh, yes. What is that? That is a very strange ring pull. I don't think I've ever seen one quite like that. But there you go, a ring pull that sounds just like a $2 coin. All right, let's pop all that back in the ground. I'll tidy the rest of that up and we'll keep moving. I was just thinking to myself, this place is almost eerie. It's like, it's almost like the teachers just shut up the door for the last time and walked out only the other day. Everything that should be here is still here. So much so I've had to actually go back and just confirm that this is definitely not an operating school. It most definitely is not an operating school and hasn't operated in a number of years. There you go. There's even still desks in the classroom. Anyway, there you go. We're right at the back, and I've got a nice little target here. I've actually got some hopes for this one. Bit of depth, and it's the right sort of numbers for a silver, so let's see what it is. Very small target. That's what we like. Small targets that have the right numbers to be coins we want. Yep, I'm hitting some roots there, which is interesting because there's no trees in this immediate vicinity. That's not to say that there weren't trees here years ago. I guess that's half the challenge of detecting, is you want to try and search, where people would have been years ago, not necessarily where they are now, if that makes any sense. Yeah, there's the big root I was hitting. Right, let's see. Should be further down. Goodness. Quiet, you. All right. Thought I got a little pip of it then. Just a little bit more over to the left. Okay. Let's see. Oh, actually, I do see a coin there. I think. Is it a coin? It is a coin. But I think it's going to be one of our blasted 1 cent pieces. It is. It's a 1 cent. I fully expect we're going to find a few of those here. But that was a fair old way down. Anyway, not to worry. We'll bag it up and we'll fill this in and carry on. All right. I'm 90% sure this one's going to be junk, but I'm willing to roll the dice on the 10% it's not. Let's see. Mid-50s. Not a long way down, but we're going to dig a plug anyway, just so we can keep things nice and tidy. Okay, that should be, yep, the last bit of our plug cut. Now, let me see. I'm going to say it's probably going to be in that plug. Sure is. And I think I've got fingers on it. Oh, it's an old key. Looks like a fairly modern style door key. Lockwood, yeah. So, I wonder if that's the key to the school. We won't test it. I'll pop that in the pocket and we'll carry on. All right, we're now over near the tennis courts, which have definitely seen better days. Almost need to mow the tennis court. And it's asphalt. So go and mow the asphalt, guys. We do have a target here. Sounds shallow. Could be another ring pull. Who knows? Let's see. We'll have a go at that. Yep, not far down. We'll just flick a little bit of ground up, and it should be somewhere in this lot. Yep, thought so. Another ring pull. That must be about my dozenth ring pull for the day. Anyway, you do tend to find lots of them on these old sites. Right, pop that back into the ground there, and we'll keep moving. It's a nice time to be at metal detecting. We've got the sun just peeking through the trees over yonder. A beautiful gentle breeze coming through. It's just nice. Good time to be out. And it's also a good time to be digging a target that sounds like this. Very small. Sounds very much like a coin. Albeit, at the moment, it sounds like a 1 cent. But that may not necessarily be the case. There are a handful of other coins it could be. Or it may not be a coin at all. Let's find out. All right, nice neat plug cut. I'd say we should be in that plug. We've got a pretty good plug out there. Nope, not. No, we're still in the hole. Oh, that one was deep. All right, let's get some of this material up and out and see if we're in there. Oh yeah, coin. And I think I called it. Just checking. Yeah, 1 cent. Balls. Not to worry. All right, let's fill this in and we'll keep going. All right, I think we're going to be bringing things to a close relatively soon. I do need to start making my way home very shortly. Just going to do one last pass down an old pathway I found here. And on this path, or just beside the pathway, I found this. Oh, there it is. I'm just hoping it's not a 1 cent ringing low. Suppose we're about to find out, aren't we? It's got a lot of... I think we're actually digging into the pathway here. That sounds like gravel. Yep, that's the pathway. Okay. Or maybe the edge of the pathway. Should be immediately close to it. Oh yeah, there's a coin, I think. No. Oh, it's the imprint of a coin. Checking. No, another 1 cent. Right. So you can't win some days, but that's all right. Let's get that filled in. Pop that back over just like that. There we go. And we'll keep working this pathway. All right, I've only moved about 3 steps from the 1 cent piece, and we have another target here. So if that last one was 1 cent, I'd be willing to bet this is going to be a 2 cent. And because they're underneath the pathway, it tells me that this pathway was probably put in after 1966. Although there's no gravel on this side. Lawn grub. Delicious. We'll leave him out for a bird to eat. Yeah, coin. What have we got there? 2 cent. Yeah, I figured. We'll pop all that away and we'll keep moving. All right, we have another target here. This one's firmly somewhere between a 1 cent and a 2 cent. I'm curious to see what it's going to be. Nice and firm though. So, hoping for pre-decimal. I wouldn't be banking on it. I reckon we might have, I'm going to say probably a 2-cent ring and low. I reckon. Right, nothing jumping out at me immediately there. We are... No, it's actually silver. Hey, that's cool. Okay, that is a little pendant. 999 fine silver pendant. Hey, just have a look what it says. Aquarius on the front. So it's one of these star sign pendants that you tend to find. Well, that's all right. A nice little bit of silver to add to the collection. I don't mind that. Much better than a 2-cent anyway. Very good. Cool. Well, let's get this filled back in. And I'm just going to finish up the last little bit and then we'll call it a day. All right, we don't have far to go now, so I think this very well could be our last find of the day. Now, we're right next to the sandpit, and we've got a nice little tone here. I'm gonna hazard a guess that we're dealing with maybe a toy, given the proximity to, yeah. Anyway, have a listen. It's a big object. I don't think it's a can. So that leaves me with the only other possibility being some sort of a toy. Wouldn't mind a nice little toy car. Okay, not far under. Let's have a look here. Oh, yeah. Sick. Now, I'll have to clean it when I get home. That looks like a little Corvette. Yeah, hey, that's a nice one. Happy with that. Sweet. Awesome. All right, let's put that away. And we'll just do the last little bit before we get to the car. And then we'll do our little wrap up and review what we found today. Just a bit of chromed up something or other. It's not aluminium either. It's actually quite heavy. A little bit of minced up can. How on earth did that sound so consistent and nice? Crushed up bottle cap of some description. Yeah, that's all it is. It's actually quite an old one. It's an old Coke can. I'm going to guess that's probably an electrical contact of some kind. Too heavy for aluminium, but certainly ringing up like aluminium, so who knows. What is it with this park and bits of chromed up, I don't know, whatever, sounding exactly like coins? It's aluminium, so it's modern. Unfortunately, it's just going to be junk, and it's more twisted up chrome. What have we got? Oh, it's an old ring pull. Of course it is. Looks like an old bottle cap, maybe. Big old piece of, looks like silver plated copper. I think it's just a ring pull. It is. It's another ring pull. Oh man. A fixture maybe off a little bike shed there. I'm seeing something in there. Guess what? It's another ring pull. An old glass bottle bottle cap. Most certainly is not a coin. It's aluminium. Why was that ringing up in the 90s? And I think it's going to be more aluminium. Yep, sure is. No. Kirk's glass bottle cap.